Who is the Black Superman, Val-Zod, in DC Comics, and how is he different from Kal-El of Krypton, in terms of where he came from and what he can do? After hearing that Michael B. Jordan is making a TV show about Val-Zod for HBO, many fans want to know more about this hero who doesn't get much attention. After rumors that Warner Brothers was thinking about making a TV show or movie about a Black Superman, this was recently confirmed. No word yet on whether the project would be based on a new character or an existing one from the comics. J.J. Abrams' Black Superman reboot's still moving ahead. Even though James Gunn's upcoming DC Universe movie will have a younger Man of Steel, J.J. Abrams' reboot of Black Superman is still moving forward. In Black Adam, which came out this fall, Henry Cavill returned to the DCU, which used to be called the dceu. However, plans to have him come back as the Man of Tomorrow quickly went south. Even though Warner Brothers Pictures executives were thinking about making Man of Steel 2, everything changed when Gunn and Peter Safran were hired to run DC Studios. They will take over for DC Films, and Walter Hamada in charge of TV, movies, and animation related to the DCU. As of December 14th, it was known that Gunn is also writing a new Superman movie. Warner Brothers Discovery is still making plans for The Last Son of Krypton. Even though a new actor will play Superman, Variety says that Abrams and Ta-Nehisi Coates' upcoming reboot of Black Superman is still going forward, even though Gunn's new movie is coming out. Coates is writing the script for the project, and Abrams' company, Bad Robot Productions, will be in charge of overseeing the making of the DC movie. We don't know yet how Gunn and Safran will be involved with the Black Superman movie, how there can be multiple Superman movies at the same time. So far, we don't know much about Gunn's Superman movie other than the fact that it will be a younger version of Clark Kent at the start of his career. The project won't be a story about how Superman came to be, but it will have important characters from the mythology, like Lois Lane, who's the star reporter for the Daily Planet. The last time we heard anything about the plot of the Black Superman reboot, it was said that the pitch would be about Kal-El and take place in the 20th century. We don't know if that's still the plan for the movie. Even though some people might find it hard to understand how both Superman movies can happen at the same time, Warner Brothers, even though the DCU is a shared universe, the studio has also made movies that don't take place in the main continuity. For example, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movies aren't part of the main continuity. Since Abrams' reboot of Black Superman would take place in its own world, it wouldn't interfere with Gunn's plans for the DCU version of the Man of Steel. Warner Brothers and DC have used the DC multiverse for years, so having two Supermen at the same time fits right in with what they've been doing. As long as Superman and Lois is still airing on the CW as part of what's left of the Arrowverse, both of the Superman reboots could still happen. Michael B. Jordan's Val-Zod Superman TV show for HBO Max, which he's attached to as a producer, is another Black Superman project that might happen. Depending on how things go in the next few years, the famous Kryptonian hero could be seen on TV and in movies more than once. We hope that Gunn and Safran will start to explain what's going on with the DCU and the Black Superman movie in 2023. Who is Val-Zod? Black Superman origins and powers explained. Val-Zod was made by writer Tom Taylor and artist Nicholas Scott and Robson Rocha. He first appeared in Earth 2, number 19 in March 2014. Earth 2 took place on a different Earth from the one created by DC Comics' New 52 reboot in 2011. It told a story of how a new generation of superheroes came to be after the first generation died, trying to stop an invasion from Apocalypse. Unfortunately, their sacrifice only put off what was going to happen anyway. New heroes, like new versions of Jay Garrick Flash and Alan Scott Green Lantern, were needed to fight the alien threat. It'll be interesting to see how Val-Zod is changed for the new show, since his origin story in Earth 2 was tied to Apocalypse's second attack on Earth, and he was just one of many heroes in that show. Also, many of the things that make Val-Zod a unique character might be hard to work into a story about him on his own. There's also some doubt about whether Michael B. Jordan will play Val-Zod or just work on the show as a producer or director. Val Superman Zod's origins in DC Comics. Val-Zod was born on the planet Krypton. His parents are unknown, but he is thought to be the son of General Zod in the universe. Val-Zod was taken in by Jor-El and his wife, Laura, after his parents were punished for trying to tell the truth to people in power. No one said exactly what this truth was, but it might have been that Krypton was about to be destroyed. In any case, just like in the main DC Comics universe, Jor-El got ready for the disaster by making special rockets to bring all of his children to Earth. This included his son, Kal-El, his niece Kara Zor-El, Val-Zod, and a fourth person whom Val-Zod never named. Val-Zod grew up in his capsule, where he could only hear the voices of his new parents to comfort and teach him. Val-Zod learned about the science and technology of Krypton, which were his birthright. He was also told what would happen to him as Earth's yellow sun and to avoid any kind of violence, since his strength would make it easy for him to hurt someone by accident. Val-Zod became a complete peacenik because of this. He also did a lot of agoraphobia because he knew how dangerous deep space travel was and what could happen if the ship's hull broke. Val's ship, Zods, came to Earth a few years after his adopted siblings, and Terry Sloan, also known as Mr. 08, was the one who found it. Sloan was a billionaire scientist and super genius who was thought of as a hero on Earth too, even though he was mostly immortal and had a personality and intelligence similar to Lex Luthor's. When he found out that Val-Zod liked closed spaces, he made the young Kryptonian afraid of the outside world and gave him a safe home behind a secret vault in a sub-basement of Arkham Asylum. Val-Zod lived here happily until a group of Earth 2's new heroes found him and asked him to join them. At the time, Apocalypse was trying to invade Earth again, this time with a man who seemed to be corrupted Superman leading the way. Val quickly tried to get over his fears and master his powers with the help of Lois Lane, whose mind has been downloaded into a robot body and was called the Red Tornado. He did this so he could be the hero Earth 2 needed. Val Superman Zod's powers and weaknesses in DC Comics. As a Kryptonian, Val body Zod's absorbs different wavelengths of solar radiation. This gives him the same powers that Superman has on Earth and any other planet that orbits a sun that isn't red. He's much stronger than any normal person because he's faster, has better reflexes, can last longer, and can't get hurt. His other senses are also heightened, so he can hear things from farther away and at higher frequencies than a normal person, such as radio broadcasts. Because of his telescopic, microscopic, infrared, and X-ray vision, he can see things in more detail than most people. He can also fly, and the air in his lungs can be released in a controlled blast of freezing air that has the force of a hurricane. He can release the energy he has absorbed as a focused blast of microwave radiation through his eyes. However, he doesn't like to use this power and keeps it in reserve for as long as he can. Val-Zod has the same physical flaws as Superman. For example, he loses his powers when he's near kryptonite, the irradiated ore of his home world. He also has no special defenses against magic or psychic powers, and his heightened senses could be overpowered. But like Clark Kent, Val-Zod's biggest flaws have to do with how he feels. Val-Zod is a strict pacifist, so he doesn't want to use his great power because he might hurt somebody by accident. He only became Superman after Dr. Fate showed him what would happen if he didn't. This makes him hesitant to act on his own, and he usually does better when someone with a stronger personality tells him what to do in the field. In a strange way, this made him the perfect partner for the bold Kara Zor-El, also known as Power Girl, since she could teach him from her experience while he watched out for her. Michael B. Jordan is reportedly working on a Val-Zod Superman show. In the past few years, Warner Brothers has been full of rumors about a Black Superman project. J.J. Abrams is said to be thinking about making his Superman reboot movie about a Black Superman. With Ta-Nehisi Coates writing the script, it was also said that Michael B. Jordan was in talks with Warner Brothers about directing a Black Superman movie. Jordan was a fan favorite in the role, but it wasn't clear if the movie would be about a Black Clark Kent or Calvin Ellis, the Superman of Earth 23, who was also the President of the United States. The HBO Max miniseries about Val-Zod would be made by Michael B. Jordan's production company, Outlier Society. This was finally confirmed. We don't know much about this new show except that an unnamed writer is working on a script and that Michael B. Jordan is only attached to produce it at this point. He might play Val-Zod or direct the show, but the famous creator already has a lot on his plate for the next year, including producing, directing, and starring in Creed 3, which he also wrote and created. Fans may have to wait a while to see Michael B. Jordan in the role of Superman, if it happens at all, or if he plays the part. What are your thoughts on Black Superman? Comment below. Well, that's all the time we had for today. Thanks for your time. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel.